Welcome to Catholic Mom Mindset, a daily show where you learn to walk closely with the Holy Spirit so you can live the life God is calling you to. I'm your host, Sterling Jaquith. Let us begin. Continuing my holiday series, I wanted to do an episode on allowing yourself to grieve. A lot of times we use that word when somebody passes away. When someone dies, we use the word grief a lot. But the word grief really applies to the death of anything. And sometimes it'll be the end of a chapter. Sometimes it'll be an abrupt closing of a door. Sometimes it'll be a long, slow life you wish you had that you don't. So some examples of that might be maybe somebody lost a job this year. And over the holiday season, you're feeling this kind of hole, this emptiness where there should be something and it's not there. And some of you maybe got pregnant and weren't expecting to get pregnant. Some of you got pregnant, wanted to get pregnant, and then miscarried. And there's kind of a baby-related grief. I think as someone who has been surprise pregnant 5 times, only one of our 6 was planned. Well, I've been surprise pregnant, I guess, 10 times. There's not a lot of talk about grieving the year that you thought you were going to have. And I think we're so scared to talk about that because we want to just say, oh, having a baby is a blessing and it's a good thing. But it can be both. You can be really happy that you're co-creating a human with the Lord and also really sad to process the grief of the year that you thought you were going to have. And so I find for me, grief just shows up around the holidays. And I think I probably used to ignore it or push it down or explain it away quickly. And now when I feel it come up, I just pause whatever I'm doing, close my eyes and take a few deep breaths. And I'm just like, whew, I'm feeling grief right now. I always feel grief that I don't have a traditional extended family that I get to see for Thanksgiving. I don't get to see my parents or my brother and his kids or Michael's sister and their kids. We usually do Thanksgiving alone or with one other friend family. And I could still be excited about getting together with my friend family. And I can still feel grief that I don't get to see my other family. And so allow yourself to just feel grief. My husband and I got together recently. We were talking about plans for next year and kind of how this year had unrolled differently than we thought. And one of the things that we felt grief around was not updating our downstairs. So we live in kind of an old farmhouse, not like one of those cute country farmhouses. Okay, more like a thrown together shop house in northern Idaho where there are no building codes. Okay. And the downstairs has concrete floors and like patched together walls that are made out of plywood. Is that the word? No, like the paneling from the 70s. So not drywall, but paneling that has been painted many, many times and is chipping. So like when you go downstairs in my house, it just kind of looks like an unfinished basement. Not a problem. It's livable. I'm totally fine with it. But we were sad. The word really was grief. We were kind of grieving that we thought we were going to make progress on that this year and we chose not to. And we chose intentionally. But just notice when grief comes up and just let it process out. Grief is an emotion that wants to go somewhere. It wants to be seen and heard and released. So what do you need to grieve? What do you need to give yourself space to notice? How can you bring it up and shine a light on it and let it kind of move through you instead of dismissing it or pushing it away or ignoring it? You will have a much more peaceful holiday season if you are willing to let grief show up when it shows up and just say, hi, there you are. Where would you like to go? And just letting it process through. All right, you guys, I hope that was helpful. I hope that brings you peace. Thanks so much for listening and have a blessed day. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Catholic Mom Mindset. To learn more about growing closer to the Holy Spirit, check out our free resources at madeforgreatness.co. Thank you so much for listening and have a blessed day.